Hey yo, what's up? You know what it is? It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks on the Yo. The King of Fighters Destiny, episode number 23, Rugal Bernstein. Or Bernstein, or however you pronounce Stein. I don't know how y'all get down. Yeah, I know. I'm mad late on this. I get that, but I still got to put out this work. And I'm glad that I got a chance, you know what I'm saying, to sit down and ultimately watch the episode. Because an episode called Rugal Bernstein is to push one agenda. It's to get over this character that he's a monster. But people who are watching this show know how much of a beast Rugal Bernstein is in his various incarnations and forms. And I will say this. The fight did not disappoint. G.O. and Terry was able to get in a little offense. Yeah, there was a secret third tag member when Hyder jerked in and did a cross cutter when Terry and G.O. was about to straight bite it from that very, very nasty, super power charged up KOF 97 / in-groove Kaiser wave that was coming towards them, cross cutter. And then the thing that I appreciated most about that whole scenario, before we get into the rest of it, that it played to something throwback that Rugal was supposed to be. If you guys didn't know, here's a fun fact for the day. You know how Rugal can bust out a Reppuken and Kaiser waves, right? Rugal's initial design docs, the way they wanted him to, is that they wanted him to have available every move in the game. He was supposed to be technically original to Raw. That I sit up here and think for real, like we have Seth in Street Fighter 4, who is a big example of this in games I cannot even think of right now, where the final boss is like an amalgamation of all the characters in the game, but Seth is the only thing I can come up with. But, you know, Rugal being that in KOF 94, when you think about it, like, in hindsight of what could have been, that would have been amazing. And I'm glad that they remembered that Rugal is a master of everything. So, of course, you get a cross-cutter shot back at your hot arm because, hey, you know, I killed your whole family, but, you know, let me make it hurt a little bit more. Well, while I sat up here and trapped you in these electrical bondage, let me hit you with a crack shoot just because, Terry Bogard, just because. And when you thought that Rugal was finna hit Kyo with an Orochi Nagi, which would have been dope as hell, squad goals, Ma comes in, ka-chunkin'. And then the squad show up. And who was part of that squad? Ma, Yuri, Benny Maru, and Athena. And then when they come in, this is when it really gets interesting. We get to see some use of some dark barriers and psycho balls being thrown. And what was kind of weird was that Rugal job to a psycho ball, technically. But at the same time, is that they're really trying to pay up Athena's psychic energy a lot more, because the games don't really do it as much, because the games really don't have time to really do it. But then this would be the point where I would counterpoint myself and remind you, there's this whole, you know, Kenso is the dragon thing that we continually forget about, and that him and Bao share some magical energy that the games just won't discuss because, you know, you're not important characters. We don't really have the time to do that, so guess what? We not. But yeah, Rugal job to a psycho ball. But then other fireballs came, and we can excuse that, and he was floating in the air, and weird things were happening. Benny Maru hit him with an electric trigger. You know what I'm saying? At some point that I forgot, even though during that job session when Rugal was beating their ass, Terry got hit with a gigantic pressure. I think that was a level 3 version, because he got thrown through multiple stones. And it's like, that gigantic pressure looks hot. I'm like, it brought back bad memories of not only the King of Fighters 2002, but also the end of Capcom vs. SNK 2, because I'm like, when you sit up here and like, we'll take a second, we'll diverge, we'll do that, we can do it, this is my show, I'll do that, we can diverge, right? Y'all know your boy. When I think about Rugals, right, like, remember, y'all remember my history, right, with KOF. My stuff started with the King of Fighters 99 and ultimately Capcom vs. SNK 2. So that's where I got my real first taste of Rugal. And it's like, I really didn't understand what was going on because I didn't really understand a lot about who Rugal Bernstein was and why he was so important. And when you think about the up in the ante that Capcom vs. SNK did between the first Capcom vs. SNK, which did a lot of featuring of Geese Howard and Bison, for then there's a step to Capcom vs. SNK 2 where Akuma and Rugal are front facing. But really think about that for a second. Just think about that because I'm on this wave. We're going to surf it. Geese, boss of Fatal Fury 1. Bison, the boss of everything in Street Fighter 2, right? You step up to Capcom vs. SNK 2. Akuma, the person who hits Bison with a Shungoku Satsu. Rugal Bernstein, dude who allegedly in the canon whoops your ass, steals your move, and then turns people into Iron Things, something about guile, right? That's where we are. And it's like, again, like I said, like my first taste of Rugal was God Rugal in Capcom vs. SNK 2. And when I think about it, it wasn't that bad, but God Rugal is a monster. It wasn't until a couple of years later that I played the King of Fighters 2002 and got my first taste of Omega Rugal in that game. And then, you know, all my history lessons going all the way backwards later when I got a chance to play KOF 94 and KOF 99 and KOF 98 and all that stuff, to see that stuff, I'm like, if anything, and oh, and let me not forget the King of Fighters R, because I played that recently, is that when you think about Rugals, right, like, if I have to give it to a dumb Rugal, it'll probably be O2, because I don't know how many continues the first time I got to Rugal trying to figure out how this character worked, right? Like, figure out how insane you are, the boss character, and then combine it with the dumbness that is the King of Fighters 2002. You know, it is what it is. It is exactly what it is. And I'm glad we was able to surf this wave. Let's get back to the Cabana. Okay, we back at the Cabana after surfing this wave of triple the G.O.D. versus Rugal Bernstein in video games. And shout out to my boy Royal, wherever he is. We call him Rugal Bernstein. That's what we call him. I don't know why we call him that, but shout out to you, Roy, whatever the hell you at. Anywho, regardless, this episode was off the chain. Everything was on point. The fight was on point. The remix to Chikaku R&D was on point. Job. Make Rugal look like a beast, but at the same time, throw up all your death flags. Because at this point, at this junction, Rugal's not going to last past this. There's no reason to kill him next episode, which they are hinting, and very, very hinting toward that's what they're going to do, is kill him off so that you can move forward. Because, see, at this juncture, because this is something I'll probably talk about after I watch episode 24 and to see what it is they're going to do with Yuri and all that, is that you really don't need to run back the King of Fighters 95. You can, but the major side players in that game aren't around. Like, technically, we are assuming at this point that Geese fell off Geese Tower and died for real. He was powered by the Orochi when he probably hit the ground. He probably did some Orochi Shippuken. We don't know. So we don't have that in play of Geese getting the information about what's good with the Orochi to go send Billy and Edgy to go team up with Yori, who will ultimately kill them, or almost, quote unquote. So you don't really have that play in motion right now. You hear rumors of what it is they trying to do, and it's like, it's time to introduce Krauser. I don't know how you do this in a way that you can introduce Krauser, eliminate Rugal, and start really trying to lean more towards in this Orochi business, where ultimately, you know, I have a feeling we'll see Vice next season. I really have a feeling that Goiness is the dude behind everything this whole time, because it's like, I really think they're not really... that it's like we are going to get a side story about Goiness next season, I guarantee you, because they have to somehow explain, because they didn't have time for a side story for Rugal himself, is that when that boy Goiness gets on the scene, or we get more introductions of Orochi characters, because I really think that because of everything that I'm seeing, Leona's gonna be in season 2. I really think that at this point, because Hodon got jacked up about one crosscutter, is that it's time you introduce Leona, because you finna get really heavy into that, and it's like you really don't have to like dance around and stuff. So in that instance, you know, you got possibly G.O.D, and okay, I just said it and just completely lost my train of thought. What is the name of that character? Shizuru. Thank you, because I'd have been like, man, who you talking about? Shizuru Kagura. All right, it's like, it's time to introduce Yadamiras. It's time for you to do that. They talk about that at the beginning of every episode. So if you really gonna like hop, skip, and jump between things, mainly you gonna have Wolfgang Krauser, you gonna have G.O.D in the background, doing all that stuff. We'll never see the American sports team again. We gonna get some Vice. Iori's gonna play a major part. We might see Edgy. They might do something with this character, because again, Eiji Kisaragi is a very important plot through line for Iori Yagami, because it was like, we don't know any time before that he ever experienced the feeling of the letting the ride of the blood overtake him. So you need some example of that, and I really don't think just something you do on the side in the cut somewhere, not sit up here and put Kyo and Iori in the same room and let this fool go nuts, and Kyo just sets him on fire because Iori's going crazy. I don't know. I don't know how we ended up on this. No clue. Not a one. No clue. But I have a feeling we gonna be right back to this conversation, but it was on my mind. So I figured, you know what I'm saying, that before we watch episode 24 and see what it is gonna do, let's try to throw some darts at the wall and see what it is that they want to do. Great episode. I will say this. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. I'm going to go watch episode 24. We'll turn this into a video. We're going to come back and we're going to do this one more again. How about that? With that being said, though, even if we are going to a commercial, there is only one question I can ask you. Are you okay?